Hello, my name is Chloe. I am 27 years old. I work as a pediatric doctor and I have bipolar. For such a long time, we've been taught to be ashamed of mental illness, to not tell anyone when we have a diagnosis, and that really, if we get super unwell, then somehow it's our fault. All of that is utterly and completely wrong. My favourite comedian, Taylor Tomlinson, announced in her latest special that she just got diagnosed with bipolar. She said we should never feel ashamed of a mental illness diagnosis because really it just explains whatever our particular brand of weird is and how to better look after ourselves. There's a foundation called Bipolar Australia aimed at helping end the stigma of a bipolar diagnosis and to bring as much awareness as possible. Now, 2.9% of Australians above the age of 16 have bipolar. That might not seem like much, but that's 568,000 people. It's a lot. I truly believe that the more we talk, the more we share our stories, and the more we'll be able to help each other stay healthy. Now, there's a lot involved when it comes to managing a bipolar illness. It includes having a psychiatrist, having a psychologist, being on regular medications, and sometimes even having electroconvulsive therapy. But the part I believe is the most important is the education for yourself and those around you. Your family, your friends, your partner might not have any idea how to be around or help someone who has bipolar. It's a pretty steep learning curve. That's why being open and honest and explaining what it's like inside a bipolar mind, I believe is going to help. I've always wanted to make one of these videos because I just believe talking is the very best way to fight stigma. Mental health has been such a taboo subject for so long, and admitting to anyone that you had a diagnosis would come across as shocking. I was diagnosed with bipolar 3 years ago, after being misdiagnosed and unwell for about 5. It's been the most stressful and tumultuous time of my life, and yet now I wouldn't recognize myself from then. I am healthy, I'm on the right medications, I have a fantastic medical team, and I have so much support around me. I finally actually feel like myself. My story started when I was in medical school. I started having panic attacks and my stress levels were through the roof, which for a med student isn't particularly uncommon. I went to a GP and was promptly told that I had severe anxiety and severe depression and would I like to go on medication. No consult, no talking, no nothing, just here are meds. I got really mad at this, especially as I believed that sort of thing wasn't the sort of thing that would happen to me. It was something that happened to other people. As the years went by, I developed more obvious symptoms. I stopped being able to sleep at night. I couldn't feel happiness, and I started to hurt myself in order to cope. This is when I finally agreed to trial medication, even though at the time it didn't really do anything. Despite the diagnosis, I was constantly going up and down all the time. I didn't have a regular doctor, so no one really seemed to realize how sick I was. I used to study all through the night at times because I physically couldn't go to sleep. I made it through medical school by sheer force of will and then started my internship. I struggled my way through it, and then close to the end of the year, I completely fell apart. I was supposed to have the weekend off to rest and then found out instead I had to do a 14-hour shift. It just felt like my brain cracked. I'd been holding on for so long, I just didn't have anything left in me. I was soon hospitalised for the first time and was there for about 3 months. They tried every antidepressant under the sun and nothing worked. Finally, they put me on a mood stabiliser. And for the first time, it felt like my brain woke up. I could think clearly, I could feel joy, it felt like a miracle. They also put me on an antipsychotic that is very effective at treating insomnia, so I started to sleep every night for the first time in 4 years. Being told I had bipolar finally made my brain make sense. The super rapid thoughts, the pressured speech, the risk-taking behaviour, and the blackness of the depression. It turns out that I have bipolar mixed affective disorder, which basically means that rather than having separate manic and depressive episodes, I have them both at the same time. And this is why it took so much longer to get a diagnosis, because it's so much trickier to recognize. Now, this only scratches the surface of what it's like to live with bipolar. I want to share these thoughts and explain this illness so we can truly make a difference, and so people can stop assuming that if you have bipolar, that means you're crazy. I hope you enjoyed and maybe you learned something. Thanks for watching.